what's new. And let's start out with Marvel, Joe. I'll kick us off here with this. So we got the Amazing Spider-Man 93. Of course, they're going to be resetting things. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. We got Hulk issue 5 by Don Cates, Star Wars Bounty Hunters issue 21, Silk 3, Silver Surfer Rebirth 3, Iron Fist 2, which I do want to go back and check out, but I'm not like itching to go and read that again after a solid first issue. Hulk Grand Design Monster issue 1, Excellent 2, and then X-Men Unlimited Latitude issue 1, which I may give that one a look because it looks like we're dealing with Wolverine from X Lives X Deaths, like kind of story still, but we'll see about that. But we had 3 other books that we wanted to talk about a little bit more. I brought up Emma Frost, so I'll hold off on that one. Where do you want to start?
Did you catch up on Dark Ages number 6?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this was the conclusion to that, which we knew was coming because we know Taylor's going, strictly to DC. What a great ending to this story.
Mm-hmm.
What a great ending. I feel like this issue might have been a little bit longer than a standard issue. I
don't think it was.
You don't think
it's
so?
Not good. I don't know. I think it was 23. I usually check that as I'm like reading.
Yeah, I usually do too. But this one just, I don't know, because it felt like, because he was able to cram so much in there, it didn't feel like it. It just, to me, it felt like, okay, maybe there was, a little bit longer. But I loved how the story concluded. And I just, I don't know. I've loved this series, right? I thought it was such a unique idea. And then he told a great story in 6 issues. It was tight. It was solid all the way through. Absolutely love that. And then the other book, and I don't know if you had a chance to read this one yet either, but
before you get to it, I do want to say that Marvel Dark Ages, where we got Dark Knights of Steel and everything, it might seem like, oh, this is the same thing, but he's doing it with Marvel. Not happening at the same time. Not the same story. It's a different spin. And Ivan Coelho is the artist on this series. Love his style. Like when you I think this guy, I don't know how long he's been around, but I feel like he's going to take off because the stuff he did in this series was so cool. So many awesome designs.
Oh, that action sequence with Wolverine.
Yep, that was a lot. That was a lot. Yeah. They did like, this is a perfect little just self-contained event.
Yeah.
Just 6 issues, nothing else, no fat on it. Highly like we're not going to talk about on TLDR because Joe and I weren't going to be able to call dibs on this no matter what from the jump. So we this is a book for sure though. When the trade comes out, if you like all the Marvel characters, you do not need to be caught up on all the Marvel lore and stuff like that.
No, this is a self-contained thing.
Be familiar with the characters, and in which we all are. If you're listening to the show, you'll be good. Pick it up, enjoy it. It's going to be a fast read, a lot of action, really just awesome. But yeah, the Wolverine, that shit was pretty freaking nuts. But
the sequencing there was something else.
Now the other character you want to talk about, we did see a little bit of Ghost Rider in a way in Dark Ages, but Ghost Rider issue 2 from our guy Benjamin Percy's out this week.
Yeah, and did you get a chance to read this one as well?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is like he said he wants to make it a horror book, and he's doing that.
Yeah, he did so, and 100%.
It's vicious, man.
I sent the first issue to my nephew. I will not be sending him this one. I don't think. I think it's a little much, and but it's classic Percy. That narration, that inner dialogue, his storytelling, the depth he's giving to Johnny Blaze, and the art, the visual aspect of this book. I mean, it's Ghost Rider, so you expect it to be, a little bit more macabre, and we get that. But I still think my favorite character so far is the FBI agent.
What is her name? Too?
Yeah, I just read it, but
she's awesome. I agree with you. She's really cool.
And then we get a little bit more about her and her backstory, which I think is awesome. So only 2 issues in. If you haven't been reading Ghost Rider, you can easily go grab Ghost Rider #1 somewhere. Grab Ghost Rider 2. Absolutely stellar.
Just don't gift it to your 11-year-old nephew like Joe, because then you might give him, or niece, because you might give him or her nightmares. That's the only thing. Although we do know that your nephew is tougher than you. At least that has been.
We know that for a fact. So, the first issue wasn't too bad, but the second issue, I'm going to hold off on that one.
It was pretty violent too. But yeah, the second one might give. The second one's more like it's more violent or more gross. I would say some of the imagery. Yes. This one is more terrifying, I would say. And then the other like must-read book for me coming out from Marvel this week. Well, Hulk's right there too. We're not talking about
Yep.
that, but another solid issue there. But Immortal X-Men issue 1 from our guy Kieran Gillen, who we had on a little while back to talk about Die, which was great. Obviously love that series. Can't say it enough. But Immortal X-Men, this is narrated by Mr. Sinister, and he's very like cheeky in all this, and I love his voice written by Gillen. It was outstanding. A lot of gossip, a lot of politicking, and it's just like in suspicions and incorrect assessments and everything. So I really enjoyed this first issue, and it's just like it was this one I think was a double issue or a larger issue. And you felt it, but like I just really enjoyed every single bit of this, and I'm all in after the first issue, 100%.
And you know what I love? I'm about halfway through, but what I love so far is that Gillen does a great job of sort of catching you up to speed with the events of X Live or 10 Lives, X Deaths, and sort of, the last several issues of where the X-Men story's been going, and then sort of just everything in general. He's been able to, sort of give you that background information without hitting you over. Like the data pages in this issue, at least the ones that I've encountered so far, I thought were actually really well done.
Good.
Versus like the dense, just like paragraphs. You get fuck it, but really well done in this case.
The more and more I talk to people about the X-Men stuff, the more and more I find that you seem to be in the minority on the data page front. So people seem to like that. So it's an interesting little thing that I've learned in just conversing. But anyways,
if I wanted to read prose, I'd read prose.
That's fair.
Right?
That's fair.
I read a comic book, so I don't have to do dense fucking reading.
Okay. Well,
if I want to do that, I'll just, I'll pick up the next book of The Witcher and just start reading.
Okay. I did pick up. I finally am planning on. Well, we'll see. I have a lot of prose books that I need to catch up on. Finally finished the first volume of was it Jay Kristoff's Nevernight series? The first one's Nevernight. So finally read that. Loved that. But anyways, we're not here to talk about prose. Let's move over to DC. There are a few books that we want to get into there, but especially me. But we got One Dark Knight issue 2 from Jock, Swamp Thing 11, Aquaman 2, excuse me, Sensational Wonder Woman Special issue 1, Batman FaZe Clan issue 1. There were a couple other first issues that we're more interested in, Joe. Let's start off with the one that you wanted to highlight.
And it's the one for those watching is my background today. Batman Beyond the White Knight issue 1. This is Sean Murphy's foray back into the White Knight universe. What does he call it? The
Murphyverse.
The Murphyverse, and it's fantastic. I mean, this one seems to take place, in the future. Obviously, it's Batman
10 years
Beyond.
after, I think.
Yeah, so like some time has gone past from when we left Curse of the White Knight, and he sets up a lot of interesting things. We see some beloved characters and where they are now, and sort of. I'm trying not to spoil anything, but
I'll tell
some
you
directions their characters have gone in is very interesting.
And the end of this issue was very surprising. Didn't see that coming at all.
Nope.
None whatsoever.
Nope.
The big thing coming out.
I wanted to say I love the Harley Quinn stuff.
Yeah. Of course, we had Katana Collins on a little while back to talk about her series. And it looks like we're going to be getting another series within this universe on another character, Red Hood, which I guess we missed this news at some point because I did research on it afterwards and it did come up. But we're going to be getting a Red Hood series. I don't know if it's going to be 3 issues or 6. But
yeah, I think I might have I thought one of us had retweeted it out like a week or two ago. I think it might have been me. I saw Murphy announce this. It eluded us to talk about it on the show, but I thought one of us had retweeted it out at some point.
Maybe, but either way, seeing the design and everything, and now that we're going to get more of this character, with McFarlane Action Figures, of course, they're doing a ton of stuff with DC, and we do have the Batman White Knight figure. We have Azrael, we have Jack Napier, Joker. I think he did Batman's bike from this series too, but I can't help but wonder, are we going to see some Dick Grayson stuff? Are we going to see some Barbara Gordon? as well. And then I would think we're going to see some Red Hood and maybe even the Batman Beyond. But I didn't buy the Three Jokers Red Hood, even though I love it. I got so much Red Hood stuff. But if McFarlane makes a Red Hood like this, I'm going to have to buy it for sure, 100%.
He makes Terry McGinnis. He makes Batman Beyond. I'm getting that one.
Yeah,
That's no doubt.
Yeah.
The suit in this.
Grayson one's cool too.
Yeah, but his suit and his look in this is absolutely fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, man, I love Murphy stuff. Like, he's one of my absolute favorites, no question about it. And then from two other ones that I want to talk about a little bit more, DC versus Vampires issue 6. I actually saw a Reddit discussion on this where people were kind of confused or had mixed opinions about the twist that happens in this issue. And like that, there's a twist, and then we get an explanation about how it happens because I'll tell you what, didn't see it coming at all. This is a book I'm planning on talking about when it yeah, maybe I could talk about it after 6 issues now at this point on the show. But either way, I think this is going to be wrapping up around Halloween if my timeline's correct, or maybe a little bit before that. But either way, it's been an awesome series. Really enjoying it, and just twists and turns with characters along the way. And with the 6th issue, I'm like, okay, well that happened. Where the fuck do they go from here now? And this is Tynan and Rosenberg, and then we get the surprise in this issue. I was like, well, fuck, okay. Cool. It's like that. All right. And the explanation of it that people are kind of divided on, I liked it. It made a lot of sense to me. It's funny the things that people can get hung up on sometimes. Lord knows that you and I get hung up on little nitpicks once in a while, and other guys in the DSG especially. But the other thing was Shadow War Alpha issue 1. Of course, this is integrating Deathstroke Inc., which I've been reading, integrating Batman, which you've been reading, and of course I'm going to be hopping on for sure when Chip takes over, and then Robin, which Joshua Williamson is writing, which you've been reading, and he's writing this. And I'll tell you what, man, you're going to want to read this. Like, the first issue was crackers. The stuff that we get going on, it's a lot of it is centered around Damian and his family. Not so much Damian, but
this is this is what at the end of the last Robin issue it said story continued in Shadow War Alpha.
Yeah, so I'm going to try and keep like if I have to go and bounce around I do want to read Robin at some point because obviously you talked about on the show, spoke very highly of it, love it. I do want to read that, like the whole thing, but I may bounce around now within Batman and Robin and all this stuff just because and I'm already reading Deathstroke Inc. because this is very promising to start how they involve Deathstroke in this and what they're doing with the Al Ghuls. All of it's really cool. I like Talia al Ghul a lot. We saw a lot of her.
You just read Robin. You need to read Robin.
Okay. We saw a lot of her in the Silencer as well. So, okay, I need to read Robin as well. But I think we're going to get a lot of her here in like the best way possible. So really promising start to this event that Williamson has planned for his 3 titles that he's currently writing. But then we move over to Boom. Want to take us through that?
We have Something is Killing the Children, number 21. It finally returns. I still haven't fucking finished House of Slaughter, but I'll have to do that before I read this.
Is it done after 6 issues?
House of Slaughter? So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I didn't see it at all this week or coming up in any of these solicits. So I think
I didn't either. Yeah, good point.
The end of it. Buffy, the 25th anniversary special, number 1. And The Killer Affairs of the State, number 2. Did you read number 1 of that?
I did not. It's not my rule to do that. So
no, and so I think what happened here with this is that there was a week we didn't get Boom stuff, and they didn't have a New Break Comics, and then so it just kind of slipped my radar. So I'm gonna have to go back and check that out.
Okay,
for show. And
I saw that title. I was like, oh, this seems like a pretty cool one. But I'm not I like Boom stuff, but it definitely isn't. As much
what I've noticed with Boom the past few weeks, the past month or so, like they've not really been putting much out.
This has been that way for a while, Joe.
It's been like 1 to 2 titles.
I feel like it's been this way for months now.
Months seems strong, but at least the past month or 2, like more than that, seems a bit strong. But it feels like the last month and then what's going forward here, there's not a lot of titles.
I felt like, I don't know. For me, it felt like a time like Boom was only putting out a few less than maybe Image and DC a week. I know Marvel can kind of fluctuate, but they usually putting out. It seems like Marvel and I'm getting myself tongue tied here. I feel like Boom used to put out a slight bit less than DC, and DC was just behind Image and Marvel in terms of how much they were putting out. Might be a little off there, but now for me, it seemed like it's been like 3, maybe 4 a week from Boom, whereas before it felt like it was more like 6, 7.
So it's been light. It's been light. They've been, But anyways, so that's it from Boom. Image this week we got some bangers. I mean, no surprise from Image. We have Spawn 328, Radiant Black 13, as I mentioned before. One of my surprise books, Righteous Thirst for Vengeance #6. Rogue Sun #2, which we talked with Ryan Parrott with last month. Absolutely love this.
And
this
I did
book.
review this for Geeks Worldwide as well. Friggin' kick ass, awesome.
Part of the massive verse there, and I can't wait to look at this next one, Step by Bloody Step #2.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we got one you want to discuss.
Yeah, and of course, Step by Bloody Step, we had Cy Spurrier on the show to talk about that as well. All part of our March Madness. Hashtag Dork. I think PCP and Mac and Goo, all of course of the DSG. They did their brackets. But we decided we're just going to have a ton of interviews. And of course, that made our life very simple over this past month plus. But from Image, also, we have New Burn issue 5. So Joe and I, when we do interviews, sometimes we get, one issue of a story, to go off for the interview, which is fine. Whatever, we can totally do stuff off that, especially if a creator has a big catalog of work. But with Rogue Sun, we got the first 2 issues from Ryan when we talked to him. So now, next month we'll finally be caught up with everybody else, or backing up with everybody else, I should say. New Burn, Joe and I got the first 5 issues of New Burn when we talked to Chip Zdarsky. So we've been waiting for a long ass while to get some new stuff on New Burn. And I did go back and skim through this one before the show because I couldn't remember exactly which issue this was. And man, like when I talked to Chip about was it like it just seems like he gets New Burn in these weird spots every single time, and like is it ever a challenge to like make it so hard that it seems like he's never going to get out of it, and then he somehow gets out of it? And when I asked that question, this issue was the one I was thinking about. This is amazing how he did this with Eastern New Burn.
Because what I say, he goes, you got to write it backwards. You got to put him in this way and then go backwards from there. So I got to reread all these again because what was it, September that we got these?
Yeah, something like that. Right? This is the prison one though. So this was crazy.
This one sticks out. I can't wait for the next issue to come out, and eventually the TV series, right?
Yeah.
For this, right?
Still don't know where that's coming from, but man, Chip, honestly, like I know Chip's got stuff with Comixology going on too. I know you've been reading that, but he's going to be, and after this Devil's Reign event, he's going to have Daredevil, he's going to have New Burn, and he's going to have Batman. I wonder how much else he's doing. I mean, but like honestly, if the money's coming in, he doesn't need to do anything else. Those 3 things are all awesome. Like, you kidding me?
What did he say? Sex criminals fucking paid for his house and everything else just buys the groceries.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, something else. Can't wait till we catch up with him again at some point down the line. But then, of course, from Dark Horse this week, we have Hellboy, the Silver Lantern Club, issue 5. Aftershock, the Heathens, issue 5, which is by Cullen Bunn, correct? If I'm not mistaken. And then My Date with Monsters, issue 5, and Almost American, issue 5. A lot of 5s coming out from Aftershock. Usagi Yojimbo is the Lone Goat Kid, issue 3 is out from IDW this week. And then we got TMNT, issue 127, which we will be talking about, a little TMT as we move into our solicit, but don't hold your breath on too much of these.
Hold on. I wanted to bring this up because I wrote this down the other day and I sent it to you. If I can fucking find it. I think the first issue of The Last Ronin dropped in October 2020. And we're going to get the last issue in, was it 2023?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right?
Something
like that?
Yeah, you said, yeah.
So yeah, I wasn't far off. So it'll be fucking 5 years before we get, all these fucking issues.